Anthony Edwards doesn't believe NBA players from the 90s and before had skills. He recently admitted that he didn't watch basketball back in the day, so he really shouldn't be speaking on it. But he says that he heard it was tougher back then, but he doesn't really think anybody had skills back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill, so that's why they saw Kobe Bryant. They were like, oh my God, but now everybody has skills. AE gotta relax, man. That ain't it. Come on now, Ant-Man. It takes a simple 20-minute YouTube search to see that guys had skill in the 90s and before. Like, my uncles hooped, my dad hooped. Them dudes didn't have a chance at making it to the NBA because it still required skill in the 90s and before. I'm only 5 years older than the Ant-Man, but I know that guys had skill back in the day. Be clear. Also, you don't see a lot of videos of just defense, but a lot of you guys today don't believe defending is a skill set, which a lot of guys valued 90s basketball and before. Ant-Man got to be better than that. His platform's way too big. He's way too great of a player to get some rhetoric like that off. And we got to be honest. Oftentimes, AE, Anthony Edwards, says a lot of ridiculous stuff. Like, that's part of the allure to the Ant-Man. You don't know what the heck's about to come out of his mouth. You don't know what he's going to do with a microphone in his hand. You don't know what he's going to do with a basketball in his hand. That's why he has a great chance of being the next face of the NBA. But he's got to relax saying that the skill set in the 90s and before only was about Michael Jordan and nobody else had it. Come on, bro. If you look at the NBA of today, most great forwards practice with Hakeem Olajuwon. That just shows you the impact of one great player in the 90s. 90s skill set has always been around. You couldn't just be anybody to make the NBA. You had to have skill. AE got to be better than that one, be more responsible with his platform than that. Damian Lillard has a new top 5 favorite NBA players to watch list, and who he doesn't have in it. It may surprise you, and I look at this list and I think this is probably Dame's best players in the game today list. Dame's got Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I'm good with Luka, Jokic, and Giannis for sure. Those are 3 of the 5 best hoopers in the world right now. The Anthony Edwards one, I get it, coming off of his great year last year, but listen, Jason Tatum may not be the greatest playoff performer, but you got to respect this man game 1 through 82 of the regular season, and he still did win a championship as one of the best players on the Celtics. The Ja Morant one, I got to give a lot of pushback. I think Ja has all the makings of being a top 5 player in the league, but if you're gonna not put Joel Embiid on this list, what has Ja answered that Joel hadn't? That's my only question with the Ja Morant placement. Ja Morant's got to get through a season and do these 2 things. He's got to be physically healthy, and then if he's physically healthy, we got to see him be mentally healthy. If you're not going to have Embiid on the list, I don't know how you can have Ja on the list. That's my only pushback. Let me know your thoughts on Damian Lillard's top 5 favorite players in the NBA list. Gilbert Arenas recently revealed a reason you may not have thought of on why it will be tough for LeBron to be considered better than Michael Jordan, historically speaking. Gilbert said it's because the media we have today didn't exist then. You did not talk down on Michael Jordan's name. If you did, your ass was gone. Skip Bayless and what he's done to LeBron over the years, he wouldn't have had no job past the first month. If you said anything about Mike bad, then you didn't have a job, said Gilbert Arenas. I see what he's saying. I think there's a lot of validity. LeBron James has had to be a part of the 24-hour news cycle, definitely at least the last 10 to 15 years since debate television has emerged and social media podcasts and all that. But even before then, no, he's been under a lot of scrutiny. Michael Jordan just didn't have to deal with that many platforms. Michael Jordan existed in an era where people were just excited to be able to witness his greatness, and Kobe Bryant existed in that world a lot as well. I would say this to Gilbert, though. Like, you do realize you're part of the problem you're speaking on. Maybe not to LeBron, but Gilbert ain't respectful to guys like Nikola Jokic that have clearly showed their dominance in this era. He could be more respectful today as well. As you talk about Skip Bayless, you ain't the most respectful of today's NBA greats. Let me know your thoughts on how Gilbert Arenas feels about that Michael Jordan and LeBron James debate. Time, love, and support is what your boy would never take for granted. Salute. I'm out. All right, y'all. The NFL season is here. Head over to Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code FERRO. You can already make your picks for the entire season. Here are some guys that I believe are going to have great years. If your picks are correct, you're going to win a lot of cheese. Use my promo code FERRO. Tell me when you did it. I might even give you a free copy of Madden 25 or NCAA College Football 25.